Coming to you live via the interwebs. Thank you for tuning in to this short broadcast of Ben Live. Your growth hacker. Hi there. Title of this video, Who is Ben McNulty? Thanks for asking. I am. Elaborate, you say. I don't mind if I do. Kind of one of my favorite subjects for Ben Live, if I'm being completely honest. And that's good, right? It's good when you enjoy talking about yourself, because you have good things to share about what you're doing, right? So, hello. If you need to ask who is Ben McNulty in the sense, this guy. Hi there. If you're asking more in the, what is he up to now? I know the guy. I met the fella. What's he doing? Well, that might be a little bit of a later episode discussion, or later short discussion. For now, though, who is Ben McNulty? Well, I bet you'd enjoy trying to answer that one for yourselves, right? But I'll take a go at it. From a personal standpoint, I think it's important to acknowledge that I am at Ben McNulty. Not just literally on Twitter, I'm at Ben McNulty, but I grew up in a time when using your real name on the internet was not the standard. It was a pre-Facebook era. And I've always been kind of a at Ben McNulty kind of guy. It's like, no. This is just the new telephone. It's okay. You can be your authentic, genuine self on the interwebs. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was real young, I was operating under nom de plume. But for the most part, at Ben McNulty. Long legacy of very just open internet sort of engagement. I'm a high intelligence quotient individual. This has been a fact of my life farther back than I can remember at this point. So it's it's cool. I have a higher frequency of processing ability than I think most people do, and I think that's what makes it different for me. I don't know. I've kind of been at the helm of this operation for about 31 years now. That's the best I can get for you. Really good CPU. Just click, 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 click. Not the best storage device, but lots of processing frequency going on there. So I was a model technology gifted student because I was identified in second grade as having high intelligence quotient, and began taking classes there part-time and full-time. So, from third grade forward, I had full-time master's degree or higher instructors. I had access to model technology using hand scanners and, new computers, new fancy Apple computers throughout. Far nicer than what I've afforded in my adult life, to be completely honest. But some of the best resources, the St. Johns County Public School System, known for top quality, both instructors and model technology, being current in their technology. When I was a teenager, I mean, we're talking like pre-teen to teen, early tens area. I was doing web design, mostly from the standpoint of integrating Flash. I was building interfaces in Flash. I was using scalable vector graphics long before most people knew what that meant. Many people still don't, I'm sure. But at a young age, this is back in time. You have to consider the technology at the time. It's in context. This was cutting edge to be using Flash. I mean, it was beyond the capacity of the current internet at that time. So it was a bit difficult to run those programs. This is when Newgrounds was first breaking ground with, Flash games and that sort of thing. So from there, I mean, in high school, I did TV production. People who know me at Menendez High there would be familiar. Benno from the TV news, right? So mostly behind the scenes stuff, kind of overall production management roles there. But got acquainted with the technology and familiar with videography in general and that sort of thing. So not just throwing this together, out of nothing here. A student of writing, film, interaction design, emerging media. You're talking about at the university level there. So creative writing, expository writing, technical writing, film study, just for overall context of entertainment. Interaction design, human-computer interfacing. Really, we were at the turning point there in touch technology to where we started to see the nomenclature be more of a touch and a tap than a click sort of world. And the interaction design really has to do with the user experience and the user engagement and kind of understanding now how we can engage fully with this more mature, evolved technology and software accompanying it. This is a quickly advancing world of computers, and now we're in a world of computers building upon itself, and so fun stuff. Interaction design and emerging media. Because we're seeing a real crossover here in the way people engage with media across platforms, across devices, and at different levels. Some people want to, chat and engage directly and talk to the once removed people within the magic boxes. There are now just fully accessible through social networks and things like Twitter. Really opened up the door for that. And so these, emerging new media and social media technologies has really just been an ongoing study for, my whole life, my whole education, and a well-funded, public education, sure, but some of the best public education available directed toward my overall study of interaction design and human and computer interfacing engagement and where we're going for that. And it's a really interesting field right now. There's some really interesting things happening. Virtual reality really taking hold. 3D. We saw some faltering there on the output devices. But I think as the headset becomes more consumer friendly, we're going to see a lot more 3D immersion. Sort of, we don't want the 3D coming out of the TV into our world, but we'll happily just step into the virtual space, I think, is the direction we're going there. And so there's all sorts of interface considerations that are going to come up on all applications there. And so I've studied this. I've been, my whole life has been an ongoing study of this field because it was just timing. I was identified as having a higher intelligence potential than most people, and so I was directed on this course. My folks weren't too dumb either. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, good friend. He's going to have some food. Well, no, he's going to let me know there is no food behind him. So on a professional biography sense, right, I have extensive real-time customer service representative experience through pizza, doing phone orders and direct face-to-face customer interactions, sales associate experience, and moved my way up through restaurant management. I was a restaurant manager, and so I have operations experience and task delegation, and managing teams and labor budgets and food budgets and inventory processing and all that fun stuff, cash handling to far more money. I have accounted for far more money than I will ever make in my life. I have accounted for on behalf of other entities. So so far pretty good. I'm in the free world, and so my tabulation is coming out pretty close. You know what I mean? I'm sure I've been off here and there, obviously, but good enough to keep me out here to where obviously there's no malicious intent there. Trustworthy guy. My personal side of that, we don't even need to get into that, but anyway, from a business side, run some pretty good operations. So, community manager, brand evangelist. Had a couple of internships when I was in college. One, I was working for Tremendous News, which was a comedy blog, where I was an intern who created a distributed workforce of interns And so we utilized technology at the time was Google Wave. And so a lot of that's been integrated into Google Docs. This is sort of simultaneous editing in the cloud technology that's really popular now. We were doing this, as a team, and allowing Deepak Sethi, who's the author there, the personality behind Tremendous News. He eventually got a job writing for network comedy there. He wrote for Family Guy and Brickleberry as well. He's, I'm not just doing name drop. No, I actually worked for this. I mean, this was an established audience, but this was the guy who really taught me, and this was a mentor. He showed me how he built this audience that was mostly well established when I got there. But from there, I built this distributed internship team that really helped to leverage him for that last step and get that national level exposure. I think is where we were, and that's fun. That was cool. That was a good time. And beyond that, when I was with Unthink, I was a community manager, brand evangelist there, where if you communicated with Unthink Corporation, you were communicating with me. I was the personality behind that corporation, and that was a multinational, multi-million-dollar startup venture in the social media area. It was taking on Facebook back when Facebook was really being held accountable for some overreaches and privacy violations in terms of service issues there. And so, these are real experiences that I had at a top level in the technology world and startup world. And these are the sorts of experiences I'd enjoy having more of, and I think that I'm plenty capable to contribute in a meaningful way. I was a freelance full stack web developer, and that was kind of a post collegiate deal there, where it was mostly self-directed study, and everything beyond that. I have a lifetime membership to SitePoint for the rest of my life, and SitePoint's learnable product offering. I have their books, I have their courses, and their screencasts. It's just a matter of having the free time to sit there and learn more about emerging front-end web technology and back-end web technology, but web technology in general. HTML5, CSS3. I was using PHP for backends. Now I'm moving into the Node.js. I want to use a full-stack JavaScript solution. I think that that's more manageable. I think it's moving forward. I really see that as the direction that all entities should go. It just seems with the Mongo database, NoSQL backend there, it's just it can scale and it's extendable, and I don't want to get too heavy into those details there, but I like the interwebs. Okay, I'm definitely into the interwebs on the behind the scenes and the front of the scenes, the graphic side of it as well, the CSS and the layout and the colors and the 3D stuff, the animation stuff. There's a lot of neat things that are coming into HTML5 that's really taking over the world of Flash. That I was there when it was a Macromedia Flash 4 product. I was using it. I was young, but I was there. I was doing it. So now HTML5 is really taken into that space, and JavaScript is kind of the interactivity there, so it makes sense for JavaScript to just go and reach on over to the server and hit the database for you and keep everything just one language through there. It just makes sense. So that's the direction I'm going. Full stack JavaScript developer. I'll have that as soon as I can put that notch on my belt in a reasonable way. As soon as I have Node nailed down, already front end JavaScript is, I could use one-off for jQuery if I want to make anything happen, but I prefer to write my own solutions, to be completely honest. Just write it from scratch. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Let's write it into code for this instance and make it work this way. You want to build your own libraries and such, and you're going to have reusable code, but you want to make that built for that instance initially, so it'll scale better, be minimalist when it scales. Anyway, again, digressing too much there. Currently, I'm an overnight convenience store clerk, and if you've been paying attention, that should be hilarious to you. It's a proximity job. Okay, it's really close. My transportation costs are low, and in this economy, you have to be grateful to have a job at all. So I do that. I show up. I put in 40 hours a week, and I survive off less than what I can live off of. I'm paying back student loans for $80,000 worth of investment in my old noggin, and I'm a register jockey overnight, and it's obviously not something that's going to work for me long term. I think that's clearly, right now it's getting the bills paid. I like that. I enjoy having electricity and the internet running and things like that. But, professionally, I'm looking for advancement. And that's a part of what Ben Live is about. And I think that we're going to get into that in a little bit more detail here soon. But this is the Who is Ben McNulty Ben Live short. And I think I've kind of covered that for you. And if you want to know more, I'm on the real networks there. If you want to know more professionally, you can connect with my LinkedIn. I'm Ben McNulty. Personally, you want to be friends or whatnot, hey, let me know on Facebook. We'll be friends. I'd rather you say hello, right? Don't just say hello. It's cool. I'm a friendly guy. I'm outgoing. Be honest, authentic, genuine, and don't be surprised if you're trying to do that. Let's just be open and honest and straightforward, and be aware that I know how to interwebs, right? So, thanks for tuning into this Ben Live short, and I hope you tune in for the next one. You want some music? You want some kitties? How about both? We'll go kitties. There's the kitties. What are they doing? They're sleeping. Kitties are sleeping. There's the music anyway. Enjoy.